Hi, I want to talk to you today about an AI lens for business, and then talk about why an AI lens for business and the knowledge domain is important and almost essential in some industries, depending on the level of need that you have with the information coming back. So, for example, if it's driving a car, if it's surgery, things like that, right? You need 100% accuracy. For things like maybe agile requirements, where you're going to have collaboration sessions around these things, and you're just trying to get to form things to get to a collaboration model, then probably 95% you want good quality, but it doesn't have to be perfect, because what is perfect, right? In general, AI is data-driven, and it's data-driven content creation. Instead of having to understand the exact data that we're going after, it's very structured. We pull it out. We know it's an address. We have to get the fields of the address. Invoices, you have to know the exact field, things like that. What the generative AI algorithms do is they work off of natural language programming. The questions, like if you think about, again, ChatGPT, and again, this isn't a marketing spiel for ChatGPT, it just happens to be what I use. So I'll probably mention it a lot, but it's really the interface to the OpenAI LLM. But what it can do is it can do all kinds of things when you look at it at the global side, like the generative AI side, before you start to get specific about the large language model. You can do things like create text, work with text, images, and all kinds of other data. If you recall, you'll hear things like, hey, it was trained on the internet. So think about the vast and varying types of information that's on the internet, right? Not just text or pictures, videos, charts, all kinds of things. And so you have to be thinking about that when you think about what is the universe of knowledge that these AI models have. And so when you start thinking about this, the versatility of the domains, it's like, how did they get there? And it's really the network architectures inside are things like generative adversarial networks and variational autoencoders, right? And again, you can think of that as, let's say you have two friends and one's a really good artist and another one's just like a natural detective. And so the artist, they would try to replicate a picture, and then the detective's job is to tell if that's a real picture or if the artist drew it. And so you'd go through this process. The artist would draw, the detective would detect, and they would look for flaws in it, and they would explain to the artist how they determined that it was fake. And so then the artist would keep working on it. So they'd play this game back and forth until the artist got to the point where they were drawing pictures that the detective couldn't distinguish from a real photograph, right? And so in AI, this same process is gone through with a generator and a discriminator, right? So the generator basically generates things. In this case, it's an image, so it generates the image, and the discriminator validates the image and feeds back to the generator any flaws. So you want to do this back and forth until the generator is so good that you can't find any flaws with it, right? So that's basically the concept behind it. Again, the VAE is, let's say you have a bunch of toys, right? You've got cars, blocks, coloring books, all kinds of things, and you just have a bunch of toys and you have a really small room and a really small toy box. What you really want is, you'd like to have a magic toy box where you could put the essence of the toy into that box, and then whenever you want a specific toy, you can go into the box and it would regenerate it for you. And the beauty of this magic box is not only could it regenerate that toy that you put in, but it could create new toys, right? And so that's cool, right? And so that's what we're seeing with things like, probably the easiest thing there, or the thing that people know about the most, is like Midjourney, right? You feed it a description of a picture you want, and it comes out and it draws some beautiful things if you're really good at prompting it. And so basically there's this iterative refinement process, right? So this is constantly going on behind the scenes. This is how it was trained. And then as new data gets added, it learns new pairings and patterns, right? Maybe not necessarily new information, but it might pick up new patterns.